They told you confidence means being loud, that it means standing tall, speaking fast, and taking charge. But no one told you the truth. Confidence is not noise. It's not performance. It's not pretending you're okay when you're breaking inside. Confidence is something quieter, something deeper, something built, not born. It's the moment you decide to show up, even when your hands are shaking. It's the voice inside you that whispers, "Keep going," when the world is silent. And it's earned, not gifted. So if you've been waiting for confidence to show up before you act, you're waiting for something that only comes after you act. In this video, we're not going to tell you to fake it. We're going to help you build it. For real, quietly, daily, silently. Welcome to Still Rise, the place where we grow quietly, where we don't shout to be seen, we rise in silence. If you're on a journey to rebuild your mind, your power, and your self-belief, you're not alone. Subscribe, turn on your calm, and let's rise together. This is not just a guide. It's not a motivational speech. It's a path. A quiet, consistent path towards something the world tried to take from you, your confidence. The real reason you're not confident? You were not born with fear. You were not born hiding. You came into this world crying loud, taking up space without apology. You didn't care what the room thought of you. You weren't aware of judgment or expectations or rejection. You simply existed, fully, unapologetically. Then, something changed. Maybe it was a voice that laughed when you spoke. Maybe it was a teacher who silenced your questions. Maybe it was your father, who only gave you praise when you succeeded. Maybe it was failure. Maybe it was shame. Maybe it was silence when you needed words the most. You learned to shrink, to question, to hide. You didn't choose insecurity, it was installed, line by line, like bad software. Every ignored hand, every joke at your expense, every comparison to someone louder, taller, more likable, more wanted. Confidence didn't die, it went into hiding. And over time, you thought it had left you forever. But it didn't. It's still there. Beneath the fear, beneath the overthinking, beneath the years of pretending you were okay with being invisible, confidence never dies. It waits. It waits for you to remember who you were before the world told you who you weren't. It waits for you to stop listening to the noise and start listening to the quiet strength within. The real reason you're not confident is because you stopped trusting yourself. And why wouldn't you? When every time you tried, they told you weren't enough. When you loved and weren't loved back. When you spoke and no one listened. When you dreamed and they laughed. But what if they were wrong? What if your confidence didn't need their permission? What if confidence isn't something you get from the world, but something you remember about yourself? Confidence is not the absence of fear. It's the return of self-trust. And self-trust is built quietly, in small moments, daily. This is not about becoming someone else. It's about coming back to who you were before they told you to be afraid. Confidence is remembering that your voice matters, even if it shakes, standing up. Not because you're the silent damage of self-doubt. Self-doubt doesn't arrive loudly. It doesn't break the door down. It seeps in, slowly, quietly, soft enough that you barely notice. It starts with hesitation, a pause before you speak, a question mark in your mind before every move. Should I say this? Do I sound stupid? Will they laugh? At first it feels like protection, like caution, like wisdom. But it's not. It's corrosion. It's the soft erosion of belief. You doubt one word, then one sentence, then your whole story. You hesitate once, then again, then you stop trying entirely. You start handing over your power, bit by bit, to silence, to fear, to the imagined opinions of people who may not even be watching. That's the danger of self-doubt. It doesn't need proof, it only needs repetition. And the more you let it speak, the more it becomes the only voice you hear. You'll start to think, maybe I'm just not made for this. Maybe I'm just not enough. But let's be honest. You didn't doubt yourself at birth. You learned to. You watched others be chosen over you. You watched people laugh at your dreams. You internalized every silent rejection and made it your identity. But those weren't facts. They were fragments. Fragments don't define you. The truth is, every time you shrink to fit their comfort, you starve your soul of expression. Every time you stay silent when your heart wants to speak, you strengthen the chains of self-doubt. you begin to disappear, not physically, but emotionally, spiritually. The world doesn't even have to tell you no anymore. You tell it to yourself before they can. And that's how dreams die. Not with rejection, but with hesitation. But here's what self-doubt docent T want you to know. It's not real. It's just practiced fear. It lives in your mind, not in the world. And what lives in the mind can be replaced, rewired, rebuilt. One silent act of courage at a time. One word spoken, one step taken, one fear faced. Confidence isn't something that suddenly arrives. It's something that slowly reclaims your space, your breath, your presence. The same way self-doubt crept in silently. You can now let confidence grow back. Silently. Not with noise, but with truth? Not. Not with applause, but with self-respect. This is how it begins. Not with loud affirmations, but with a whisper. I deserve to be here. And then again, I am enough, even if they don't see it yet. Speak it until the echo in your mind changes tone. Act on it until hesitation fades. Live it until self-doubt becomes a memory. And when that day comes, you won't need to declare your confidence. They'll feel it. Before you speak, that is silent power. It's already inside you. The daily habits that kill your confidence silently. You don't lose confidence in a single moment. You lose it in small, silent ways, through habits that seem harmless, but slowly break your spirit. And the worst part, you don't even notice it happening, until you wake up one day and feel like a stranger to your own self. In this chapter, we'll expose the tiny routines that silently rob your power, and how to reverse them, one calm step at a time. Habit 1. Constant comparison. You open your phone, scroll mindlessly, and every post you see says, you're not enough. Someone else is richer, happier, more attractive, more confident. And you start to shrink, quietly. Without protest, but confidence doesn't grow in someone else's shadow. The moment you compare your path, you abandon your own. Replace this habit with self-check-ins. Every morning ask, what do I need today to feel proud of myself? Then do just that. It's for you, not for them. Habit 2. Apologizing for your existence. You say sorry too often, even when you've done nothing wrong. You shrink your voice in group conversations. You overthink your messages. You walk into a room and immediately scan it. Asking silently, am I allowed to be here? That question is killing your confidence. You are not a burden. You are not a mistake to fix. Start replacing sorry with thank you. Instead of sorry I'm late, say thank you for waiting. It rewires your mind to feel deserving. Habit 3. Waiting for permission. You have ideas, dreams, plans, but you hesitate. Waiting for a sign, approval, someone to say, yes, go ahead. Confidence dies in hesitation. Build the habit of taking small, bold steps without permission. Post that video. Apply for that job. Speak in that meeting. You don't need anyone to confirm your worth. You are already born worthy. Habit 4. Avoiding discomfort. Confidence grows in discomfort. Every time you avoid a challenge, you tell your mind, I'm not capable. The brain listens and starts believing it. Start doing one thing daily that feels uncomfortable. A cold shower, speaking up, saying no. Every time you lean into discomfort, you send a message to your brain. I trust myself. Confidence follows that trust. Habit 5. Negative self-talk. Your brain hears everything you say about yourself. Even the quiet, sarcastic comments. I'm so stupid. I can never get anything right. These words sink deep. They become belief. Start catching them gently. Don't judge yourself. Just notice and rephrase. I'm learning. This is temporary. I'm trying. That's enough. These habits may seem small, but they are powerful forces, repeating daily, quietly, shaping your entire self-image. In part 4, we'll show you how to rebuild confidence through micro-actions. How to go from feeling powerless to becoming quietly unshakable. See you in part 4. Rebuilding confidence through micro-actions. Confidence doesn't return all at once. It comes back in whispers. In moments so small, you almost miss them. You don't rebuild your life by leaping. Rebuild it by leaning forward. One silent inch at a time, one deep breath, one honest word, one task completed, even if it felt insignificant. The world talks about boldness, but true confidence? It's in the quiet things. It's in brushing your teeth when you don't feel like it. It's in replying to that message instead of ghosting. It's in standing up straight even when your heart feels heavy. Confidence is a seed, and every micro-action waters it. You don't wait to feel ready. You become ready by acting anyway, even if your hands shake, even if your voice trembles, even if no one claps. Start where you are with what you have. That's enough. Speak your truth. Even if it's just in a journal. Show up. Even if it's just for 5 minutes. Finish one small task and celebrate it. Because every time you act with intention, you send a message to your brain. I can do this. And if you do it again tomorrow and the day after that, something powerful happens. You stop needing permission. You stop asking for validation. You stop waiting for the perfect time. Just begin. Quietly, steadily, unapologetically. The mind learns by repetition, so let your actions repeat the story you want to believe. I am capable. I am rising. I am not giving up on me. You don't need to roar. You just need to keep going. Confidence doesn't live in a spotlight. It grows in silence. In consistency. In doing the next right thing, even when no one sees it. That's how power returns. That's how identity is rebuilt. That's how you come back to yourself, not with noise, but with presence. Discipline builds confidence, not motivation. They say motivation gets you started, but they forget. Motivation doesn't show up every morning. Discipline does. Motivation is loud. It yells, "Let's go!" But when life gets quiet and the crowd disappears, motivation leaves too. That's where discipline begins. Discipline doesn't ask, "Do I feel like it today?" It asks, "Who am I becoming if I do this anyway?" Confidence isn't built when things are easy. It's built when you show up tired, uncertain, uncomfortable, and still do the work. Not for applause, not for a quick result, but because you made a quiet promise to yourself. Discipline is keeping that promise every single day, even when no one is watching. Especially then, that's how trust is born, and confidence. It's just self-trust that's been tested and proven. Think about it. The most confident people you know aren't the loudest. They're the most consistent. Didn't wake up with some magical mindset. They built it. Day after day, choice after choice, when no one clapped for them. Discipline is waking up before the sun. It's journaling when your mind is a storm, saying no to the distraction, and yes to the vision, even when it hurts, even when it's boring, even when it would be easier to quit. That's the kind of confidence that doesn't waver, because it's not based on feelings. It's based on proof, your own proof. You know who you are because you've seen what you do when no one is pushing you. So forget motivation, it's a guest. Discipline is the home. Confidence is built there, brick by brick, sweat by sweat, choice by choice, one quiet win at a time. It's how confidence grows. Not by hype, but by habit. Is that discipline? That sacred repetition? That's your edge. That's your power. That's your rise. Confidence is what you do when no one is watching. It's 4:57 a.m. No one's watching. No one's clapping. No one will ever know. But you're awake, and that's confidence. Confidence doesn't bloom in the spotlight. It grows in the shadows, in the quiet, in the lonely decisions you make when no one else is around to validate them. It's the push-up you do when no one is counting. It's the book you open. When your phone screams for your attention, it's the no you whisper to temptation because your future deserves better. True confidence is never loud. It doesn't demand to be seen. It becomes undeniable because it is rooted in the moments you never posted, never shared, never bragged about. When no one is watching, will you still choose growth? Will you still sit with your discomfort? Instead of running from it, because that's the moment. That's the real test. That's where it starts. The gym is empty. You still lift. The notebook is blank. You still write. The camera's off. You still show up. Not because someone told you to, but because you promised yourself you would. And now you're keeping it. That's confidence, not a performance, not a pose, but a pattern of showing up over and over, until your mind stops doubting you and starts trusting you. You don't need to convince anyone. You just need to prove it to yourself. In silence, in stillness, in solitude, in the world. It will notice eventually, but that's not why you do it. You do it because you were once tired of waiting to feel worthy. So you built your worth with your actions, one invisible choice at a time. So the next time no one's watching, ask yourself, who am I becoming right now? What would the most confident version of me do in this moment? And then do it. Not for them, not for likes, but for that part of you that's been waiting to be trusted again. Confidence isn't what people see. It's what you do when no one does. And when you learn that, you stop performing and start becoming. Healing the inner critic, rewriting the voice in your head. The most dangerous voice is the one inside your head. Not because it yells, but because it whispers. You're not good enough. You always mess things up. No one really cares. These words don't come from truth. They come from wounds, from childhood echoes, from moments when you needed kindness, but got shame instead. This voice wasn't born in you. It was given to you by someone else, a parent, a teacher, a crowd that laughed, silence that stung. But here's the truth. You are not that voice. You're the one hearing it. You are the witness, not the weapon. You've lived for years under a narrator who only knows how to criticize, forgot how to comfort, who forgot you're human, and every time it spoke, you believed it. You accepted its stories as facts. But what if you could change the narrator? What if you could rewrite the script? Start here, not with loud affirmations, not with forced positivity, but with one gentle question. Would I say this to someone I love? Would you tell your friend? You're pathetic. You're worthless. You'll never make it. No. Then why say it to yourself? The inner critic thrives on repetition. But so does healing. So does love. So does truth. You don't need to destroy the critic. You need to retrain it. Okay? Every time it says you can't respond softly, let's just try. Every time it says you failed, whisper, I'm still learning. Every time it says you're nothing, say, I am still becoming. You don't heal the critic by fighting it. You heal it by understanding it, by showing it a better way, by feeding it better words. Confidence doesn't come from silencing all doubt. It comes from speaking over it, again and again, until your voice becomes louder than your fear. You're not broken, you're healing. You're not behind, you're rewriting. The next time your inner critic speaks, don't argue, don't run, just listen, then gently correct it. Speak to yourself like someone worth saving, because you are. Slowly, that voice in your head will learn to become your friend, your guide, your inner peace. That's how confidence is built. Not with noise, but with new words. Not with battle, but with reparenting. You are not the voice of your wounds. You are the author of your healing. And it begins right now, how you speak to yourself, in the quiet. Fear doesn't leave, but you move anyway. Not all fear is loud. Some of it is silent. It sits inside your chest, not screaming, just waiting for you to back down. You'll feel it when you're about to try something new. When you're about to speak up, you step into a room that makes you question if you belong. Fear doesn't leave. It lingers. But here's the truth. Confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move anyway. You think the confident ones feel nothing? They feel it all. But they've trained their feet to move before their mind talks them out of it. Every courageous person you've seen, their heart beat fast too. They doubted themselves too. They wondered, what if I fail? But they did it anyway. That's the difference. That's the power. It's not control over fear, but movement in its presence. You won't wake up one day and feel ready. That day never comes, so stop waiting for it. Start now. Shaky voice, still speak. Sweaty palms, still show up. Doubt in your chest, still take the step. Air is part of the process, and with every action you take in spite of it, it shrinks, it softens. It stops running your life. Repeat this in your head. It's okay to be scared. I'm doing it anyway. Confidence is not a magical gift. It's a scar. Earned from walking into things that terrified you and surviving them. So walk, even if it's slow, even if it's messy, even if no one claps. Just walk, because fear doesn't leave. But you move anyway. Confidence is a daily choice, not a final destination. You don't wake up confident. You choose it. Each day, each moment. Confidence isn't a finish line. It's not something you arrive at one day and never lose. It's more like breath, something you return to whenever fear creeps in. There will be days when doubt whispers louder, when your past screams you're not ready, when everything feels fragile again. And on those days, you still choose confidence. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. You choose to speak up, even when your voice shakes. You choose to try, even when failure feels near. You choose to show up, even when you feel unseen. Confidence isn't about being fearless. It's about moving through fear with intention. It's quiet courage. Some days, confidence will feel strong, like fire. Other days, it'll feel like a flicker, barely there. But even a flicker can light the dark. You don't need to feel 100% ready. You just need to feel willing, to try, to show up, to not disappear, because every time you choose confidence, you create evidence. It's evidence that you can. And over time, that evidence becomes belief, not the kind they give you. The kind you built. In silence, in struggle, small victories. You become the person who doesn't wait for permission to feel worthy. You give it to yourself. Confidence isn't found. It's practiced, it's protected, it's chosen. Again and again. Let this be your reminder. Today you don't need to be perfect. You just need to choose yourself loudly enough to silence the doubt, even if no one claps. Even if no one sees. Because confidence isn't a performance. It's a quiet promise. I will not abandon myself today. The final mirror. You are always enough. It's strange. We chase confidence like it's something out there, something in the applause, in the validation, in the nods of strangers. But in the end, it comes back to something quieter, more intimate. A moment where the world is silent and only one voice remains. Yours. That voice that once said, "I'm not good enough. I need to earn love. I'll believe in myself when they do." Now it says something different. Now it whispers, "I am enough." Not later now. Not because you've done everything right. Not because you've won. Because you showed up. Even when it was hard. Confidence is not loud. It's not the center of attention. It's not a mask you wear for the world. True confidence is quiet. It's a person sitting alone, facing the mirror, and smiling back, gently, without needing permission. It's because deep down you always knew you weren't broken. You were just buried, beneath fear, beneath doubt, beneath all the voices that never really knew you. But you're here now, still standing, still growing, still choosing to rise, even in silence. And that is power. You didn't just watch a video, you remembered something. Something that was always inside you. Now it's your turn. Comment below. Today I choose confidence. Say it once. Let the world hear the voice you once silenced. Like, share, and subscribe if this message echoed in your heart. Let's build a place where silent strength is seen, where healing is normal, where worth is never up for debate. This is Still Rise, where self-belief begins. Quietly, but never weakly. We'll be here, every step, every breath, till you no longer need our voice, because you've found your own.